from the United States. How did you two meet? You've been married how many years? You still seem like you're in love, and this and that and the other thing. Which we very much are still. So, but yeah, we will it's undocumented until today, but this is how Lexie and I met 8 years ago.
I usually give people the option. I say, well, you can have the very short version of that. Tony gave me his phone number at a gas station.
Classic.
And then everyone pats him on the back and says, good job,
Nice.
yeah. And I said,
Effective.
or you can have the unabridged version, which will take a little storytelling. And today you're going to get the unabridged version of how was that?
Yes.
Got your mask there, babe. There.
That's cool.
Okay, it's cool.
So, we need to harken back to the year 2009. I graduated from Northern Michigan University with a teaching degree and didn't apply for any jobs all summer because I was scared to join the workforce. And then all of a sudden, the week before school started that year, I ended up getting a job teaching health education at Marinette Middle School. Yep, Taylor will know. She was one of my former students. I absolutely did not want to teach health, and I did not want to teach at middle school, but I was really lucky that the job came up. So I started teaching at Marinette Middle School, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, 2009 to 2010 school year.
The project was in 2010.
The start of the second school year, I was contacted by Leslie Shreves of the United Way program. She wanted to set up a service learning program between my 6th grade students at Marinette Middle School and the college students at UW Marinette. 2 health classes, just at different levels, with Professor Dorothy Kowalski and I. Sounded great, cool. We want to do a project and then a presentation.
So, a service learning project between Tony's 6th grade students and my class, the class that I was in, my health class. So on the first day of health class, we walk in, and the teacher says, we've got this great thing for all of September. We're going to do a service learning project with the middle school students. And I thought, really?
You thought that?
I really thought that.
Thanks for telling me.
So, the next class we have to go to Marinette Middle School, which I didn't know where it was, because I just went to college in Marinette. I didn't really invest much in Marinette, so I didn't really know where anything was. But I found the middle school when me and a group of college students were running around the middle school looking for Mr. LaMalfa, which I had a Professor LaMalfa, so I had made a connection that this must be his son. So we're looking for Mr. LaMalfa, and we're looking, this is a Phi teacher, and everyone's pointing us different ways. They're saying he's in the gym, he must be in the locker room, he must be in the health room on the 3rd floor. I mean, the school is like...
What the hell?
Yeah.
It's a big school.
Finally, we're late already now. We've used up all of our time, which we're college students. We didn't really arrive on time anyway. And we find out Mr. LaMalfa has his class in the library. So
There were a lot of students. It was 2 of my 6th grade classes, so 60 of my 12-year-old students and working with 30 university students.
yeah, so we had two each for each of us.
That's 90 people in this library.
Yeah. It was a smart decision to book the library. We just didn't know.
This is at the middle school that I went to when I was in middle school. I ended up starting to teach there with my old Phi Ed teacher. And so here we are, getting together for this project at Marinette Middle School Library.
Yes. So, what happens is, I round the corner to the library. We're rushing now because we're late. And I round the corner to the library, and I see this man there. And I see that it's from behind. And he's got this long, beautiful hair. And he's going like this. He's pointing like the students, like, you sit over there, you sit over there. And from behind,
Okay. You just want to look at me from behind.
Give me a show.
All right.
So, from behind, he's telling people this, that. He looks like he's conducting an orchestra. And he's got this beautiful hair. And it's one of those moments, it's as cheesy as it sounds, where time slows down. And I am struck dumb, literally struck dumb. The filter from the brain to the mouth doesn't work anymore. And I literally say, oh my God, look at his hair. And I say this to my boyfriend.
Who's standing right next to you?
I don't know why I said it. It wasn't like a thought, it just came out. I said, oh my God, look at his hair. And then I thought, I just said that out loud.
But not loud enough that we could hear.
No,
You were on the edge of the library, and I was still conducting the Philharmonic.
You were the wiser.
Yeah.
So I had to spend the rest of the class not paying too much attention to Tony, even though he was running the class, because they didn't want to give the impression that I was too interested in.
It looked like I was running the class, but it was organized chaos, I tell you.
Yeah, it was organized chaos. So I spent the rest of the class not paying too much attention to who was running the class, but also, paying enough attention to understand what was going on, which was chaos between Tony and our professor.
Yeah.
So.
We had communicated exactly what was going to happen, and somehow that never happened. So, this is a 2-3 week project, and throughout the course of the project, I was busy coordinating students' PowerPoint slides with their little sandwich boards, with their little bop. And so, I didn't actually ever single Lexie out or talk to her.
It's because my
separately.
table was on track. You didn't have to put on modifiers at my table,
Yeah.
so.
That's why I just kind of glossed over your table when I said, oh, is everything going well? It looks good?
Fine.
Everything's fine?
Yeah.
Great. On to the next table. So, the end of September comes. We haven't really talked at all.
No.
I mean, it's not like...
Why would we?
And the project comes to a head. We're presenting this ordeal at the fall convocation at UW Marinette, which is a student works. Everybody's presenting these special projects they've been working on and this and that. So, project comes off without a hitch. Everybody loves, what's going on. Our presentation, all of the student sandwich boards. The young students were sitting with their college students. Great.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's it. We didn't see each other for probably, it was a year later, the fall of 2011. Tony walks in.
I walk into the...
Citgo gas station.
Which is now Chris
Oil in Marinette.
by the courthouse in Marinette on 41, right downtown. And it's a year later. I'm sorry, I hadn't thought about this since then.
I hadn't thought of you much either. So a unique thing about this gas station, which I'm so thankful for now, is that you had to come in to pay. We had such old pumps. We're the only gas station in town that the pumps were so old that you couldn't just pay at the pump. All of the people had to come in. So Tony had to come in, which is fortunate.
Yeah. So it's a I don't know, August, September. September. It's into the 2011-2012 school year, and I'm just stopping to get gas. Completely unaware of what was about to happen. It was about 5 o'clock. I was headed to, by about 7:30, a Wild Rice concert, which if you've heard of those in Marinette, it's kind of a little folk concert, usually with a traveling musician who stops by. They tend to be at Mary Sotomayor's house on Riverside Ave. And they're about an hour long, maybe a little longer. And I'm going to go to this concert later. I'm getting gas earlier at 5, and I'm standing there. I wait for the few people in front of me to finish their transactions. Easy enough. Bada bing, bada boom.
So he pays for his gas.
Was it cash or credit?
I'm not really sure, but he puts his hand on the door. He's about to leave.
Yeah.
He turns, and he looks at me, and he says,
I'm about to pull the door open.
"Who's back?"
And I say, hey, I think I know you.
And I say, "I think you don't." And he says,
No, really? I think I know you.
and I say, "I really think you don't." All right, and
Strike two.
And to back up this story, in Tony's defense, he wasn't trying to pick me up. He really thought he knew me.
I'm an Asian faces kind of guy. And I was like, yeah, I think I know this person.
And in my defense, I really thought he didn't know me because there was a girl in town, a doppelganger. Her name was Alicia, and everyone thought I was her. And at this point, people would come into the gas station and tell me all sorts of things. And they thought I was Alicia, this girl who worked at Angela's gas station. So I really thought Tony thought I was doppelganger, and I was about done with this whole Alicia mix-up thing because I didn't know anyone in town. So I was like, why would you know me?
And I didn't know who Alicia was in the first place. So, I mean, I played innocent. I was not trying to pick her up. I just wanted to figure out, well, where are you, you know? So,
we realized we didn't go to the same high school. That was what we said first.
No,
that's not it.
Where did you go to college? You go to college?
Oh, we both went to the same college.
Oh, UW Marinette. Oh, okay.
Oh, when did you graduate? Oh, 2010?
2005.
Oh, that's not it.
Hey, did you ever have a professor at LaMalfa?
And then I started, oh, I know who you are. He had cut his hair. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, so since the service owning project, when I had the long flowing mane and manly beard, I had been in a production at Theater on the Bay the spring of 2011 called Barefoot in the Park, in which I played Mr. Paul Bratter, who's a lawyer. So I was clean shaven, I had a short haircut, you know, looking slick, and I kind of kept that look into the following school year.
Yeah. You look different.
Yeah.
Kind of like how you look now.
Well, thank you. Different.
So we established that we did indeed know each other.
Hey.
Insert pregnant pause. Okay.
Ha. Good one.
Yeah.
So here we are, and after this awkward moment, so I look around. What are you doing here?
And I knew what he meant.
You're not in line at the, she was behind the counter working, and I just thought, she seemed like a bright gal. She must have graduated by now, so what were you doing?
Why am I here?
Yeah.
So,
this is no offense if anybody works in a gas station or knows someone who works in a gas station. I just thought, like, what do you do with your life? What are you up to?
So, I really had nothing to lose at this moment. A complete stranger just asked me, well, what are you doing here? And kind of in a higher overarching thought, I thought, I'm just going to tell him the truth. So I said, well, I'm working here to pay off my college debt, and I'm working really hard to try to find a job that pays over $10 an hour. That's my goal, over $10 an hour. And after that, I want an organic farm. And I just said that to this complete stranger, and it felt great. There you go, buddy.
How long have you been holding on to that?
I just said it. And the greatest part was then he kept asking me more questions about myself.
Oh, you want organic farm? Oh, what kind of this, what kind of that? And what did I find out in the next 2 minutes? When I was a little girl, says Lexie, I wanted a pink tractor, and my husband would have a black tractor, and I would grow food for my mother. I'm just getting.
We just went right into this conversation.
Yeah, I'm getting everything about this woman, and I'm totally engaged. And so now it's 5:07. It's been 7 minutes.
This goes on.
It goes on.
It goes on.
Another 2 hours.
He just keeps standing there. I mean, the camera's right there.
Camera's right there. Lexi's at the counter. Somebody comes in to buy newspapers, cigarettes, gas, you name it. Okay. They take care of their transaction, and back to the conversation we go.
None of my side work got done.
Boss is probably pissed.
No, my coworkers were.
Oh.
So
It's a couple hours later, and man, I had never had a connection with somebody like this, and it wasn't necessarily even romantic from the get-go. It's just wow, cool. This other person who I jive with, and
you had to go. Your concert was approaching.
My concert, right? I guess I gotta go.
And he says.
So I say, I'll be back.
Oh my goodness.
I'll be back. I'm gonna go to this concert.
This is a serious stage 10 problem right now for me because I have a boyfriend. Yes, that's the part that we didn't get to. And
that's the part I didn't know.
Yeah, and he says he'll be back, and I think, God, I hope he doesn't come back. And then I think, God, I really hope he does come back. So I've had this moral dilemma, like. I really want to talk to this guy some more, but I really shouldn't. This is sticky business. Too good to be true, kind of thing. So I was so frustrated. I thought I better get to my side work before he comes back. and everything on the side work list I didn't want to do besides scrubbing the floors. So Tony was gone maybe 2 hours, and I scrubbed the floors of Sitco that whole time. At points I got down on my hands and knees. The floors were never cleaner because I was in so much turmoil. I wanted to know if he should come back or not. But you know he came back.
Yep. So, during the concert, I'll be honest, I wasn't thinking about Lexie the entire time. I just thought, wow, this concert was cool. I'm gonna head back to that gas station. I'm just gonna keep talking with this gal. She seems really with it. So, I come back by about 7:30.
No, your concert started at 7. That doesn't
So
add up.
almost 2 hours, 7:30, 9. Thank you. That's why I'm names and faces.
Yeah.
Your dates and information.
Yes.
So I come back to the gas station. I go back about 9:30, and the conversation continues.
Right where it
Although-
left off.
Yeah, right where it left off. Like we hadn't skipped a beat. Now, Lolly's, the bar across the street, is open. And some of the folks are, coming across the street to get their evening cigarettes or coffee or whatnot in between sets of whatever band was playing. And
These were my people.
these are Lexie's regulars. And somehow they mistake
Tony
me or...
was on their turf a little bit.
Yeah. Who is this guy infringing upon, our right to flirt with this gal who, whether or not maybe had a boyfriend is a mystery, but... So they kind of start heckling me a little bit.
So he would have been out of there if I wanted him out of there,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. And I said, what? She and I are having this conversation. We're just, Lexie, who is this guy? Is he harassing you? Kind of like that. Just like that.
I told them he was my brother, so they'd go away.
Thanks, sis. So, clear of any obstacles after these guys leave, we continue talking, and it's just escalating. This is great conversation. So, it's reaching about 11 o'clock.
He's closing down the gas station.
Yeah. Well, the other guys are closing down Lolly's. I'm over closing the gas station down with the attendant. So, okay, well, this is really great. I guess I better let you get going. So, here's my phone number. If you'd like to go out for coffee sometime, I'd love to keep talking. This has been a great time. Thank you. Bada bing, bada boom.
And I don't call him.
Oh, I leave, and I don't hear from Lexie. This gal I've been talking with for 5 hours
I want
now.
to say one thing.
Oh.
I don't call him for 9 months.
Yeah, but the first month is worth discussing.
Yeah, we'll go back to that, but
Yeah.
you got
So
a
for 9
dramatic
months.
point in there.
Oh yes, for as long as it takes,
Yeah.
it's gestation
That's
period
how
of
long
a human
it
baby.
took that.
I get no
that
call.
phone number to gestate.
Yeah, that gestation, the phone number took 9 months. So, it's about 2 weeks later, and I come back for gas. Not necessarily intentionally. And it might have been this sort of information-seeking, like,
Maybe?
yeah. You don't have a connection like that with someone and not get a call back.
Yeah,
What did
you're like, what happened?
What did I do? So I come in and we're talking for a short while, maybe 15 minutes or so. Nothing is said about the phone number. No calls are made. Bada bing, bada boom. Easy peasy, and I had to get going. I'm out. We didn't really think anything of it. Things were just kind of left on neutral terms. I come back a week later.
He's getting a lot of gas here.
We seem to have a lot of gas.
Maybe you're just driving around to lower your gas tank,
Yeah, right.
Time for more gas.
I needed a good reason to fill up. And so I go back. It's now the second time after our initial meeting.
Yeah.
And it's kind of short and sweet because it's a touch and go. I'm on my way somewhere. Nothing is really said, no exchange, still no mention of the phone number, mind you. So I'm kind of just hanging out in left field, wondering, okay, week later, I make it.
You're making this up. It's the third time when it happens. This is the one.
Okay, I'm stretching it out.
Stretching it out.
Sorry, it's the third time. And I come in, and we're talking, and all of a sudden, there's a gentleman who comes in and hands Lexie
my lunch.
a brown paper bag.
Who's this?
And-
So, I'm gonna take
Yeah,
over the
please,
microphone for a
please.
little bit. Tony was thinking, he was hoping, that's gotta be your brother, right?
You know how often she used that line.
It's her brother, huh?
It's gotta be her brother.
So I'd forgotten my lunch on the kitchen table that day, and in a wonderful and rare moment of thoughtfulness, my boyfriend had noticed my lunch on said table and thought, that's Lexie's lunch. I'm gonna bring it to her.
And I didn't get it right away. I'm like, oh, okay. And then,
So
you know, a beat skips.
and you realize you know him too.
I'm the names and faces guy. I think I know you from somewhere. I don't say this out loud. Oh, from the presentation, the
Service
service
Learning
project. Yeah, you were sitting next to her. Oh. So the aha moment comes.
That was all in your head, but yeah.
Yeah.
So Tony turns to me, because he's gonna leave now, and
Yeah.
he's finishing up his transaction, and he says,
Well, take care. And I'll walk away, because I can't do anything else.
so we know this plot point in the romantic comedy. So he said that take care meant a lot, because I knew what he was saying. He was saying, I see that's your boyfriend, I see why you didn't call me, I'm not coming here anymore.
And I didn't for several months. Not because out of spite, but because I thought, I'm going to be respectful. I don't want any other awkward situations. I don't want to create trouble for her. So,
Tony turns after his great line, his great exit line. Leave it to Tony. Take care.
take care.
He turns and walks away, and I take that moment to watch him walk to his car, and I'm thinking, ooh, is this one of those moments in my destiny? Am I messing something up right now? And I was thinking, that can't be. These kind of moments don't really happen. You know, like, is this for real? Like, am I really, like, letting the man that, like, I really like, the man of my dreams walk away to stay with this other man that I actually don't want to stay with? And I thought, no, that's not how real life works. I said, when I figure out, as a side note about the boyfriend, a 20-year-old tends to think that I'll leave my boyfriend who I don't want to be with when things are better, when things are perfect, when he has a job, and when he has his own car, and when his life gets turned around. And we all know, and we can all tell the 20-year-olds this, that's not how life works. There's never the right time to leave the person you don't want to be with. And at that moment, as I was watching Tony walk away, I was convincing myself that this other person that I was with just needed a few more months. And there would be other men like Tony who would want to date me after I was single again. Like this couldn't be the heart-wrenching moment where I screw it all up. And that's how I dealt with it. Otherwise, it would have been too heartbreaking. I just told myself, there's got to be more men like Tony LaMalfa.
Fast forward 9 months.
9 months.
And
So,
it's April 27th. And I am invited back to UW Marinette to be their keynote speaker for their URPC, their Spring Undergraduate Research Performance Conference. Cool. I'm going to give the keynote speech, and I talk about being proactive about one's education.
yeah, very fancy.
It went very well. So that was a Friday. Saturday, April 28th, 2012. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm doing my usual bachelor routine of having eaten my oatmeal with almond milk and start playing computer games for the whole Saturday. And I get this call, I'll be honest, interrupting the match I was playing. I was a little annoyed. Hey, I didn't know it was about to hit me. And all of a sudden, I answer the phone.
All right, we have to pause here. I gotta talk about my prep work to this. All right, we gotta live in suspense.
Yeah, no.
All right. So, it's 9 months later. By this time, I had found the job that paid over $10 an hour. It actually paid $15. Oh yeah.
And who was it with?
The DMV.
Yeah.
And I had parted ways with the boyfriend. I'd finally realized there was never going to be a good time. It was never going to be the perfect moment to leave, so I had parted ways. I had moved out of my apartment in Menominee, and I was basically on the verge of moving to Green Bay, probably, because that's where the job was offered. But after I accepted the Green Bay job, I was also offered a job with the DMV in Madison, which they said I could choose then. And I was thinking, oh, Madison sounds like a good new start. That could be a good new start for me. But I had a thought before leaving the area, and it wasn't a very serious thought because I thought, oh my goodness, this was 9 months ago. But I thought I'd really love to go on that date with Tony and LaMalfa. And I thought, but you know, if he was giving out his number at gas stations, he's got to have a girlfriend by now. there is no.
Yeah, right.
There is no way this man is still single because he. I would have snatched him up in 2 seconds. So obviously, all the other girls he's been giving his digits to have probably called him back.
He probably not called me back.
And so I thought, I'm going to call him, but I'm not really going to invest in this because I'm pretty sure he has a girlfriend by now.
I haven't dated anyone since yeah.
So I prepped what I was going to say because I was afraid like the girlfriend would pick up or something. I don't know.
Or the wife, right?
Right, the wife.
Oh, and the kids, and this, and the.
It's been a long time.
Wow. You're being generous.
All right. So I'm interrupting your video game match with the phone call. So I say,
hello, this is Tony.
and I say, hello, this is Lexie. I'm not sure if you remember me. I used to work at the gas station.
Another pause. And I consider this. Lexie at the gas station. Oh, yeah. In an instant, I remember. But then my next question in my mind, before I actually verbalize the next point, is, how did she, what? No, hasn't it been a long time? Why is she calling now? This is out of the blue. Oh, and then I realized, I just presented as the keynote speaker at UW-Marinette's URPC, and since we had known each other through the service learning project with the university, she must have seen my presentation.
He was convinced that he must have been this wonderful speaker and that I was so impressed that I called him.
Yeah. Needless to say, I hadn't dated anyone, but I hadn't dated anyone, but here I am giving this presentation, and it must be,
But this is all in your head.
God's greatest gift.
That was the pause where I was waiting to see if he remembered me. Remind you, this is a long pause while he was thinking about all this.
Yeah, I did a lot of calculating in my head. So then, yeah, of course. Hi, Lexie. How's it going?
So I said, I was wondering if that offer for coffee was still good.
Another pause. I removed the phone from my face as I proceed, having not dated anyone in God knows how long, to fist pump. Silently alone with myself in the apartment, and my match is going horribly, and my character is dead, but I'm just like. Yeah, that would be great. When would you like to do this? Where would you like to go?
So we set up for Perkins the very next morning at 9 a.m. And Tony says,
just give me a second. I want to write this down.
and at this point, I'm still a little awkward on this coming on the cold call thing. And I'm wondering, why does he have to write it down? It's tomorrow at 9. And so I said something kind of but I said, "What, do you have to pencil me into your day book?" And I thought, why did I say that?
And I'm completely unfazed by this. And I reply, no, this is too important to miss.
One-liner.
So, the first person I call after we conclude this conversation is my mother. You'll never guess. I have a date. And we're all just fist pumping. So that was the beginning. We go on our date the following morning. It's Sunday at Perkins, 9 a.m. And I have this. It's my turn to have this time slowing down moment. Lexie, of course, was probably 10 minutes early. I, of course, was right on time. It's 9 o'clock, and I'm walking in the door. And she's seated in the far right corner after you round the entrance. And I'm kind of scanning. I see her. I spot her from behind. And I walk over there. And as I round the side of the booth and I get a look at her, it was as though I was gazing at this princess. She had her hair up, she had these beautiful dangling earrings and this jumper and a nice cardigan and everything, and I just, wow. I sit down, we have our conversation, and everything is just awesome, humming along. But Lexie,
I had thought about this date. I hadn't been on like a very proper date like this, where you meet for the date for the first time. And so I thought, I'm not ordering eggs. What if I get eggs all over my face? What should I order? Oh my God! And so I decided I was going to order a bagel when the time came. So when the time came and the waitress came over, I confidently ordered a bagel, and she said,
I'm sorry, we don't have bagels here. How about a piece of pie?
But she gave me a whole list. Like, it was a crisis.
Or a muffin, or a cupcake.
You know how that happens with the server? Sometimes they really want to make you happy. But the problem is Tony also really wanted to make me happy. So they were both doing
They don't have bagels.
Oh, we
if
can
you
go
want, we can go
somewhere
somewhere else. Just big bagel factories down the road. So the waitress and I are doing everything we can to make sure she gets what she wants.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, he's going to think I'm high maintenance. So the waitress said something about an English muffin, and I just said, I'll take the English muffin. I've never ordered an English muffin at a restaurant before or since. I just wanted to shut them up because I just thought this is going horrible.
You didn't want us fawning over you to make sure you got what you wanted. So the English muffin arrives.
Tony had eggs, by the way.
I had eggs. Yeah.
He wasn't worried.
I had 2 meals worth. So everything plays out beautifully.
Yeah.
It's we walk to our vehicles afterwards, and it's a matter of then sitting in my car and talking for another half an hour, then saying, it's a Midwest goodbye. We say goodbye about 7 times, and we never actually separate. Yeah. So then I really want to kiss her at the end of this shindig, but not. We just ended up with a hug, and then we went on a walk, and then we ended up hugging again, and that's the first date. That's about it. Second date, Lexie's blindsided with 3 movies and coming out to my parents' house for pizza in Porterfield. So
I was quite blindsided.
Oh yeah. 1 movie at the theater with my folks. Lexie claims it was a setup. I claim innocence. I did not know. Maybe I knew. But Lexie was, what also happened? Oh, I had this neat scar on my shoulder from when I was a kid.
Oh my
and
goodness.
here we are in my parents' living room. Yeah, let me show you. I proceed to
He's
take off my shirt.
The scar
And
on his shoulder. He's taking off his shirt in front of me. And I'm like, do I look? Do I not look? This is the weirdest second date ever. I don't know if they're normally like this.
And then come the baby pictures from my mom.
Baby pictures from Lexie. I'm like, is this a sitcom?
Lexie is getting both barrels, second date.
After that, I really felt like I was in.
Yeah.
I was like, I can date this guy. So I wasn't. You know, it was not very long after I started dating Tony that I really knew I wanted to be with Tony. That he was the person I wanted to be with, and as soon as he wanted to marry me, I was running down the aisle. I knew that pretty early on, and it didn't actually take that long for us to come to that conclusion together.
No, it was about 5 months later that we discussed. This was the fall of 2012 now, and we had discussed it. Conversation came up. We just said, "Hey, it's like we're already married because we were so compatible." It was as though a Venn diagram, you know, where the circles overlap. You take two factors and there's a commonality between them. It was as though those circles pretty much completely overlap, and neither of us had seen this coming. So yeah, we decide, you know what? It's like we're married. Let's get married. And we end up deciding to get married the following summer, based on, we were at Heritage Hill in Green Bay for a Halloween event, on our way to Door County to visit Ben and Jeff. And it was an event for families, so here we are as the only couple there.
Yeah, it wasn't really meant for us, but
Yeah.
we didn't understand that until we got there.
And there's a fortune teller.
Yeah, she's dressed up as a fortune teller, and you could spin for your fortune.
Wow, this wheel.
And we said, well, let's see if we should get married next summer or the summer after that.
2013 or 14. And we hinged this decision upon a wheel spinning with this fortune teller.
And she doesn't really know what's going on, so we spin it, and it says next year.
Yeah, it's like an 8-ball. Oh, looks good. Great.
And we both go, next year?
Oh, that's so
no.
quick. All right. That's so soon.
But we did it anyways.
We did it anyways. And we coupled it with my grandma Joyce's 90th birthday, which she was appreciative of because it took all the pressure off her. And the rest was history. We've been married now. It'll be 7 months this July.
7 months?
6.
7 years.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have punch here that's spiked? Sorry. Yeah, right. So yeah, no, it'll be 7 years this July 6th. And that's the tale of how we got together.
The unabridged version.
The unabridged version. The full account. Let the Library of Congress here on out hold the record. Thank you for your patience.
Now the best part, Anna says.
Yeah. Well, you're all here for a gender reveal, right?
Yeah.
You'd like to find out what the gender is, right? Well, I'm going to disappoint you and say you're not going to find out just yet because I have a song to sing. Gosh, right?
This guy.
So, I haven't done community theater for a couple years now, and I'm going to take this opportunity. When I was a kid, Leah will remember this, we used to make, in my grandma and grandpa's basement, my grandpa Mary had a business constructing safes and then shipping them around the country. And these safes had security openings so you could put cables for computers. We made, with Grandpa Mary, clips, these little clips for the security of the safes. And while we did this, there were 4 musicals that were pretty much on repeat for several years. The first of which was Oklahoma. It was also The Music Man. And there was Fiddler on the Roof and West Side Story. And throughout my tenure, our tenure as musical theater geeks, I was able to play Perchik in Fiddler on the Roof at Theater on the Bay. I participated, I sang Oh What a Beautiful Morning, that classic song from the beginning of Oklahoma, at Theater on the Bay's 50th anniversary. I was able to use a song from Music Man, the Sadder But Wiser Girl, for an audition piece, which I got a role with. But I have never done anything with West Side Story. So,
Is it going? Maria.
Maria? Maria. Most beautiful sound I've ever heard. Maria, 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 Maria. All the beautiful sounds of the world in a single word. Maria, 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 Maria. Maria, Maria, Maria. I just met a girl named Maria, and suddenly that name will never mean the same to me. Maria, I just kissed a girl named Maria, and suddenly I found how wonderful a sound can be. Maria, say it loud and there's music playing. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Maria, I'll never stop saying Maria, 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 Maria. Maria, say it loud and there's music playing. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Maria, I'll never stop saying Maria. Turn that one off, please. Gracias.
I'll just use this one, I don't know how.
Okay.
So, it's gonna be baby Maria.
What will the full name be?
She's going to have a full name. And while we were in Mexico, we gave the baby a pet name that we called the baby by before we knew the gender. We always called the baby Baby Butterfly. Baby Butterfly this, Baby Butterfly that, until we kind of knew the gender and we're going to settle on a name. Well, turns out that we actually love the name for butterfly in Spanish. So we're going to name her Mariposa.
Oh.
And her nickname will be Maria. And yes, we're going with Elizabeth.
So, Mariposa Elizabeth LaMalfa. So, folks will be welcome to call her Maria,
Yes.
or, butterfly, or mariposa.
Just don't shorten it to butt.
Yeah. No but.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
I don't know how to shut this up.
Goes to this side.
Thank you.
So, Mariposa. P-P-O-S-A. Hold on a second.
You didn't know there'd be a spelling quiz.
Put it in the sentence, please.
I got
Yeah.
it. I know this one.
Yeah. So, mariposa, baby butterfly. So,
Maria.
baby Maria.
Team girl.
Yeah.
And let's just see, who was on Team Girl? Let's raise
Raise your hand for team girl.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, very good. And team boy? Thank you for representing us. That's okay.
The water broke.
The water broke. Oh dear. Oh. So. Now, thank you. Oh, thank you, Sam.
I'm all over it.
So now that we have the exciting part over with, we have some important post-push public service announcements. So Lexie is due in 6 weeks.
What? That soon?
Yeah.
Holy smoke.
Holy smoke. July 17th is the due date. And we plan for Maria, or Mariposa, to be delivered at the Bellin Hospital in Green Bay. With current restrictions though, visitors are not allowed at the hospital, understandably so, to visit the baby. But you'll be welcome to visit Maria when we get home at our apartment in Menominee.
As long as you're not feeling sick.
As long as you're not feeling sick.
Will you be taking our temperature at the door?
Exactly.
Doing that.
Yeah.
What about the park across the street?
Pardon?
What
Yeah.
about the park across
The park across the street in Menominee, there you go.
Whatever.
So, she might
Right.
need a haircut.
Hey, there you go. So if anybody needs our contact information, it's on the table by the door, by the entrance there, our phone number and email, if you don't already have it, to get a hold of us.
So you can meet the baby.
Right, before coming to visit, please call or email so we can set up a good time and date. Yeah. So, as much as one might desire, if you would please want to come and visit, refrain from bringing all sorts of adorable baby swag when you come to meet her for the first time. If you really want to bring something, we suggest some fruits or cut vegetables or fresh lawn clippings for Lexie and I, being vegans and all. But seriously, we kind of have a confession to make. Besides raising Maria on a plant-based diet, she's going to grow up a minimalist in our family culture. So what does that mean, a minimalist? It means that we're asking folks, friends, family, to refrain from giving her gifts by material items, basically for a variety of occasions. Make her a vegan snack instead, please, or come over for a visit. We love time spent together. That's the best gift that we see you can give. Donate it to a charity on her behalf, plant a tree. There's a lot of cool things one might do. But please, no afterbirth clothing, birthday trinkets, Easter baskets, and unfortunately no Christmas gifts in a traditional sense. We know that this might not be a popular decision, but Maria's living in a material world and we're trying to avoid raising a material girl. So we'd be really much obliged if folks could honor those wishes as counterculture as that right, as that is in Western civilization. Anyway, speaking of gifts, awesome. Thank you very much. We weren't planning on opening these puppies here, but if you would like us to, we would be more than happy to once we've concluded, and we can share that moment together in person. Well, the time has come to say farewell. We really have had a lovely afternoon. We thank you for coming. It's, oh hell, who am I kidding? I'm going to hold you up for one more live performance. A goodbye song, if you will, because
Midwestern goodbye.
I want to play for you a little ditty that I wrote a few years back. I mean, in all your beauty, sitting there as a proper audience, why waste the opportunity? So, it ain't very long. It's a song called Face to Face. It's an original song that speaks about the value of time spent together in each other's company. About overcoming emotional barriers that crop up between us due to technology. Technology can create barriers, despite the fact that it has created a connectedness, albeit an artificial connectedness in some ways, during the pandemic. The authenticity of actual FaceTime together can never truly, in our opinion, be replaced by a FaceTime app, even though we've had to socially distance ourselves. So it's kind of ironic, isn't it? So this song acknowledges the energy that we carry with us that can't be transmitted or transferred electronically or digitally. Kind of a warmth or a life force that you can only experience at times like this afternoon here with you, together. Now, we can really just join each other in person to share something special collectively. So thank you for being here. So ladies, thank you for joining Lexie and I for this experience, this unveiling of the revealing of the gender of Mariposa. Thank you for being here with her as well. And without further ado, face to face. Everybody's got mood swings, everybody's got a different pace. But if you give them what they need, they'll take you to that place where they are alone, and you're alone, and then you two can be together, face to face. Everybody's got a cell phone with $100 storage space, and we can text whatever we please without responsibility. So shut them down, turn them off, so you and me can be together, just face to face. Everybody's got a family represented by the human race. We are here to wake up from illusions that we're separate. And if there is a way to heal the world, then it is all together and face to face. Yeah, if there's a way to heal the world, then surely it is all together and face to face. Thank you. Class dismissed.